This video will demonstrate how to perform some basic searching in the Westlaw database. First, select the database, and you can do that by either going to Case Law or Statutory Law on the Law and Legal Research Guide. And just choose Westlaw Campus. It will automatically log you in as long as you are logged into the library website. And let's just take a minute and look at the different parts of the database. Underneath the Browse command, you have a listing of some of the different materials that are located within Westlaw. You've got cases, statutes, regulation, and other types of materials. It also breaks out by either federal materials and state materials. So if you were looking for example, for cases, specifically federal cases, and perhaps only Supreme Court cases, you could limit by that, even that specific court. If you ever find that you've gotten yourself lost in the Westlaw database, the best way to get home is to click on the Westlaw icon in the upper left-hand corner. And then you're right back to the beginning. Just one thing to note, if you use the all content as the way you're going to browse through Westlaw, make note that it does limit you to federal material. So if you're starting with a citation, and as we talked about earlier, if you've used a secondary source and it's given you a citation to a specific case or a statute, this would be the time to go to Westlaw and put in that citation. So let's start with a citation. Remember that citations are set up by source, by volume number, source, and page number. And then click on search. And this is a Supreme Court case. It's going to take me right to the case, and you can take a look at the different parts of a case, from the title, the date, the citation. And if you scroll down, you get a synopsis as well as a syllabus of the case. That'll give you kind of a brief history of what the case is all about. That's really helpful. And then if you scroll down farther, you're going to get the opinion of the justices, and there will be one justice appointed to deliver the opinion of the court, and the other justices may file concurring opinions, which will also be within the body of the case, as well as any justice who files a dissenting opinion. And within the context of the court opinion, the justice will give you citations to the legal authority on which they decided the case. So reading the case will inform you of more material that you potentially may want to take a look at. Now, let's say instead of searching by citation, you just had a case name. So let's look up the same case, but just use the case name. Now, this is the way that Westlaw arranges their content. They give you cases first. They give you statutes, any citation that includes a reference to this particular case, any regulations, and any other types of material that's included in the Westlaw database. So, for example, there are 504 cases within Westlaw that mention this case. So again, cases are set up so that you see the highest court first, so that's why you're seeing the Supreme Court opinion. If you wanted to look at all of them, you would just simply click on cases and it would give you all of the cases. Same with statutes and regulations. It gives you kind of an overview here, but you can go and look at all of them if you choose. And you're going to be getting the same information. So let's go back to the beginning of Westlaw and talk about finding statutes. You can click on the statutes link and only search statutes. You've got a couple different ways that you can search statutes. If you have a specific citation, just like case law, you can put in that citation. A lot of people like to search statutes by searching them hierarchically. That is, you browse through the menus since they are set up in somewhat of a code or a hierarchy, and things that are on the same topic are brought together. You can see that different titles within the U.S. Code deal with different things, and if we're looking specifically for education, Title 20 is education, and you can use these menus as a way of kind of pulling down into the area that you're looking for. So if you're looking for things about different aspects of federal law as it deals with education, you can go through these. Or, as I said, if you have a citation like you can search this way also. And as you can see, Chapter 33 within Title 20 has to do with education of individuals with disabilities. Another way you can search, if you have the name of a law, the No Child Left Behind law, the Every Student Succeeds Act, you can put those in, those law names, and it will find the parts of the U.S. Code that are related to that. So let's go back to the very beginning again and talk for a second about state materials. So if you're looking for specifically Florida or another state, you just click on state materials, and let's do Florida. And it shows you what the content of the Florida library is within Westlaw. And so you can see you've got cases, you've got statutes, you've got regulations, and other secondary sources. So if you want to search specifically for Florida state cases, we can click on that, and you can put in a topic. So if you wanted to put in, let's do something like bullying and schools, do something like that. And again, it's going to find you case law because I specifically said that I wanted case law. But if you choose to search the entire Florida library, you'll get statutes and case law, etc. The other thing to note is that the default in state is to search federal and state together. So just make sure that if you specifically want to search state, that you don't choose or Florida and federal, or because that's going to be the default for the entire library. You want to go in and search specific pieces of Florida law. And that's a very brief introduction to the Westlaw database.